Hey, what is up out there? Yeah. What's the good word, y'all? Ha, see my camera in there. All right, so welcome in. Um, this just came in the mail. I'm very excited about it. So I figured we'd stream some stuff, some unboxing. We also got the reset pack and the small box expansion, the Ruins. Um, so yeah, this is the brand new. Literally just came in the mail about an hour ago. Um, Kickstarter, Aeon's Legacy game. Aeon's End Legacy game, Legacy of Gravehold. Um, so this is basically um, the follow up to Aeon's End Legacy. But this is basically Aeon's End Legacy was kind of like a intro to the system, and this is more of a uh, advanced players kind of legacy where it's less introducing you to the system and more like, you know, adding crazy stuff on top of what's already there, right? So I'm pretty excited about it. I really, really love Aeon's End. So let's check out what we got going on the box here. Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold contains 2 full intersecting campaigns with branching narratives. In each, you'll play and upgrade a variety of mages, fight increasingly powerful nemesis, and ultimately get to decide the fate of New Gravehold itself. At the end of each game, you'll choose new upgrades for your character and unlock new player cards with fresh mechanics to add to the market. At the end of the campaign, you'll have a game that is unique to the story you've crafted with mages, player cards, nemesis, and basic nemesis cards that you can play with all previous Aeon's End content. War between the mages is looming. Brahma and the mages of New Gravehold fight for safety and tradition. Zana and the mages of Azer fight for freedom and exploration. With void portals opening up and threatening humanity on all sides, the last thing New Gravehold needs is another reason to fight. Will Brahma and Zana be able to reconcile their differences, or will the community that survived underground for generations finally be torn asunder? Ooh. We got the Kickstarter sticker here. Some cool art on the bottom of the box. I think that's all the stuff on the box. So, grab my trusty X-Acto knife here. We'll crack into the shrink wrap here and see what we got. I mean, obviously you can only unbox so much with the Legacy game, right? But let's check it out. Oh yeah. Yeah, I've been very much awaiting this one. So this is the I guess what am I trying to say? This is the end of the story arc that's been going since the first Aeon's End game. I don't believe it is the final Aeon's End product, but it is, you know, the end of the storyline, which certainly got me excited about backing the Kickstarter. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff here. Read this first. Welcome to the Legacy of Gravehold. Everything you need to play this game is in this box. It's important that you do not open or read anything before being instructed to do so. If you're concerned that a deck might be missing a card, you can check the card numbers. Each deck starts and ends with a stop card with the first and last number of the deck. All the cards are in numerical order. You should never shuffle these decks. If you are concerned that an envelope is missing an item or has the wrong item, check the number of items listed on the back of the envelope. Then, check to make sure all of the items in the envelope have the number of the envelope shown on it somewhere, usually at the bottom on the back. If you do not know the story from previous Aeon's End games or would like a refresher, read previously below. Then start the campaign by reading the prologue on page 1 of the rulebook. Ooh. Previously on Aeon's End. The story so far. Gravehold, the last bastion of humanity. The great underground city was thrown into chaos when a mage named Zaxos experimented with forbidden void magic and accidentally drew a powerful nameless called Maelstrom into the city. Even the combined strength of all the mages was not enough to defeat it, and a young prodigy named Desmodia was forced to sacrifice herself with one final attack that brought down not only Maelstrom, but the entire city of Gravehold itself. The remaining mages made their way to the surface and set to work constructing a new city that would be called New Gravehold. Their leader, a mage named Brahma, had grown wary of the dangerous void magic that had destroyed their home and began exiling any mage who dabbled with it or who followed Zaxos' teachings. Zana, a good friend and old mage comrade of Brahma's, couldn't stand Brahma's strict edicts against magical experimentation. She left the city, traveling south. In her travels, Zana discovered that the people of Gravehold were not the only ones left in the world, as they had always assumed. The village of Azer was just one of several small communities spread out across the surface of their world. From the Azurians, Zana learned the art of glyph magic that can be used to influence and control the Nameless themselves. She used this magic to try and attack New Gravehold with a Nameless called Necroswarm. She only made it as far as New Gravehold's southern outpost before Necroswarm was defeated, and the news that there was a traitor mage trying to overthrow Brahma spread like wildfire. Her identity, however, was largely unknown. Zana herself returned to the village of Azer and was joined by her son Takrin, who had put together what had happened and wanted to hear her side of the story. Their group was then approached by Zaxos, who had been living in the void ever since his own disgraceful exile from New Gravehold. He had developed a way to travel safely through the void without incurring the dangerous mind-altering effects of its atmosphere, and he asked Zana and her party to come with him into the void. His hidden goal was to defeat a Nameless which could collect the life essence of mages who died in battle and reconstitute them as monsters. Upon defeating this Nameless, the Fountain of Souls, Zana and Zaxos parted ways. Zaxos took the previously deceased mages, Desmodia, Arachnos, and Thraxir, who had been partially turned into Nameless by the Fountain of Souls, while Zana left the void with her son and their friends. They returned to New Gravehold, intent on convincing Brahma to open up her mind to learning about the void. I'm sure that'll work out great. This appears to be our rulebook. We've got the Gravehold narrative book and the Azer narrative book. Obviously not going to read much in this, but this is a whole big chunk of story going on here. Presumably you get to choose sides. Whole lot of stuff going on there. Do not open until end of campaign. I opened it. We've got a map here. Spots for stickers and whatnot, I guess. There is a typo on the first section of page 33 of the Gravehold narrative booklet. Apply the sticker over the third paragraph on page 33. Well, we'll do that later. Ooh. Insights. Legacy of Gravehold. Presumably this is stickers and stuff. Yeah, oh yeah, stickers. All types of stickers in there. Bunch of tokens. Fire tokens, those are new. Ether tokens, also new. Silence tokens, we've had those before. Power tokens look different, but I think that's like for mage cards. Charge tokens, hey, we got all types of fun tokens. Nemesis tokens, those look different. Life tokens, yep, all the tokens you would expect. And then what appears to be approximately 1 billion cards. And 1 billion envelopes, too. Ooh, so many envelopes. 21 different envelopes here. You'll love to see it. Do not open until instructed. I would never do such a thing. Ooh, what's in there? I mean, probably mages and nemesises, if I had to guess. Got some bags. Got some dials here. I guess this is new Gravehold, and this is some type of bad guy. I mean, he's on the box cover, so presumably he's the big bad of some sort. Got a bunch of breaches here. And then basically all that's left is the cards, which we're not going to be able to show too many of because of how they're all... Ooh. So there's a pack of promos there. That's nice. Yeah, these are all stop decks. So this is the end deck. Presumably that's all the randomizers and stuff. This is the Stop YI deck. So many decks. The Stop XA deck. The Stop RS deck. Such decks. Love it. The Stop It. This is the Stop It deck. Ooh, Stop It. What else we got in here? Got a pack of card dividers. And then these should all be the Stop decks for the campaign and stuff. Let's get one out here. Yeah, Stop FS, Stop FB, etc., etc., etc. Stop AZ1A. Yeah, I mean, not too much to see here. They're all going to be basically the same thing. So, that is the stuff in the box here. The insert's nice. This box is freaking huge. It's, what, half again as tall? Almost twice as tall as the original Legacy box, which is pretty chunky. So we'll definitely, once we get done with the campaign, we'll definitely be using this, probably this and the other Legacy box to store our complete Aeon Zen collection in. Currently, we've got it in the Legacy box M1 of the other wave boxes. So, toss all this back in here for the time being. Oh, and there's a... I didn't show it because I would have had to take stuff out of the box. There's ads for the other Aeon Zen stuff on the sides of the box. Push this back a little bit. Let's take a look at these promos. See what we get. And then we'll crack into the ruins and see what's in there. Probably not going to open up the reset pack because it's presumably all spoilers and stuff. Alright, so got some new gems. A new gem, a new relic, a new spell, and then some treasures. That's what it looks like. So the gem is the Talisoid Clod. Cost 4. This is a new keyword, Recall. You may suffer 2 damage to return this to your hand. That's interesting. 8 cost relic. Interesting. The Chronophage Coil. Destroy this, shuffle any player's turn order card into the turn order deck. Ooh, get yourself another turn. That seems cool. Very expensive. Parasitic Force, 8 cost spell. You may prep this to any player's open breach. Cast, deal 8 damage. You may destroy up to 2 cards in your hand or discard pile. 8 cost spells are tricky. It's got a weird evil baboon or something there in the art. And then, are these all? Yeah, a bunch of level 1 treasures. Ilya's True Light of Force. Kel's True Light of Energy. Q's Call of the Void. While prepped, the first time you play a gem or relic that costs $1 or more this turn, play that card twice and then return it to the supply. Interesting. Thraxeer's Nameless Siphon. Gain $1 or any ally may discard a card in hand if they do focus one of your breaches. Cairna's Invigorate. Deal a damage or return a spell in your discard pile to your hand. So I guess these are treasures for all of the mages from Outcasts is what it looks like. This may be prepped to closed breaches. Cast, gain 3. $3 that can only be used to focus or open a breach. Interesting. Ohat's Shower of Coals. Suffer a damage and gain $2 or deal a damage. Gain $1 or gain $3 that can only be used to open a breach. You may suffer a damage to gain a charge. Place 2 ether tokens on top of any card in the supply. When any player gains that card, they gain the tokens on it. Yeah, cool stuff. I mean, I'm always a fan of more treasures. They're fun to play around with, you know. So, some pretty cool stuff. The recall keyword there seems neat. Presumably they play around with that in the main box here. 8 cost stuff is fun to have. I find it hard to actually get into play. But, you know, it's the nature of the beast, I guess. Let's see what we got in the ruins here. Aeons and the Ruins. Will the mages of New Gravehold ever truly be able to escape from their past? The world that was and the world that is, Gravehold and New Gravehold. Every new civilization is built on the bones of its predecessors. In order to look forward and build a brighter future, the mages must first understand their roots. I'm always saying that, you know. This is a dull X-Acto knife, is what I'm discovering here. We've got a Daft Punk cameo on the cover here, I guess. All right, let's see what we got. The Ruins contains new terms that were introduced in Aeon's End Legacy of Gravehold, and a few returning terms. Ether tokens. Some cards allow players to gain ether tokens. If you have ether tokens, you can use them during your turn as ether. Each ether token is worth 1 ether. When you use the token, discard it, you can have any number of tokens. During your draw phase, you discard all of your unused ether tokens. Okay, that's what I was wondering, if you could hold on to those for a big power turn. Conjure. When you use the Conjure effect of a card, you look at the top card of your deck, then you may prep it face down to one of your opened breaches or a closed breach that was focused this turn. Face down cards prepped to breaches are considered spells that cost 2 ether and have the text cast, deal 2 damage. When you cast one of these cards, place it face up in your discard pile. You may look at face down cards prepped to your breaches at any time. Interesting. So that'll let you cycle through cards that you don't want to see right now. That's interesting. Recall. The recall effect of a card can only be used when it is in your discard pile. Recall means once per turn during your main phase. If this is in your discard pile, you may resolve this effect. You can use this effect when you gain this card on your turn, since it will be in your discard pile during your main phase. Ooh, interesting. And then Silence. We've seen Silence before. Silence lets you skip a minion's next activation, basically. So, a bunch of silence tokens, a bunch of ether tokens, and then a bunch of cards. Let's look at them. I like cards. I like cards. I'm sure everyone is shocked to learn. So this is one of those, this is a small box pack that doesn't have any mages or, what's it called, nemesis in it. Presumably there will be plenty in this box. I think there's like 20 some of each, so not really going to feel the sting of that, I feel. But I would be annoyed, in previous waves by small boxes that did not have any of that stuff in them, because the mages and the nemesis are very fun, All right, so let's go through the Ruins cards here. Got Witch Glass, 2-cost gem. Gain $1. Any ally gains an ether token. Interesting. You may discard this during an ally's main phase. If you do, that player may conjure. Ooh, bunch of cool stuff on there. Shimmer Bead, 3-cost gem. Gain $2. Has a recall effect, which says if you have activated your ability this turn, gain 1 life. Ooh, so when you fire off your charges, that lets you heal some. That's cool. A Laying Shell, 5-cost gem. Gain 2 bucks, silence a minion. Seems cool. Pulsarium Globe, 5-cost gem. Gain 3 bucks. Recall effect. Discard a card in hand. If you do, any player gains an ether token. That's cool. Rainbow Fluorite, 6-cost gem. Gain 3 bucks or gain 2 charges. Ooh, that's a fun one. All right, that looks like all of our gems. Some fun stuff in there. The recall effect seems fun to play with. Then we got some relics up next. Got an Ether Widget. Any ally may prep a spell in hand to one of their opened or closed breaches. You may discard this during any ally's main phase. If you do, that ally may cast one of their prepped spells. Okay. The Vim Infuser. There's our Daft Punk guy. Gain a charge. If you have 2 life or less, repeat this effect. Wow. Living on the edge there. Contingency Kit. Any ally draws 2 cards and then discards 1 card. Or focus any player's breach. If you have 2 life or less, do both. I'm noticing a theme of have small amounts of life. Ghost Harness. Ooh, I really like the art on this. Very cool. Each player focuses their closed breach with the lowest focus cost, or each player may conjure. Seems really good. And again, super cool art there. Really like that. Element Converter. The players collectively destroy up to 2 gems from their hands or discard piles. Reveal the top card of the turn order deck. If it is a player card, that player gains an ether token. Interesting. Interesting stuff all around. There's our relics. Then we got spells. Then we got randomizers. So, put the randomizers off to the side. I mean, they're randomizers. Let's check out the spells. Magnify, another 2. I'm always a fan of getting new 2-cost gems and Spells, they're just fun to have cheap stuff. While prepped, an additional spell that costs $2 or less may be prepped to this breach. Cast, deal 1 damage. Okay. Dawn Barrage, 3-cost spell, deal 1 damage. Other spells you cast during this casting phase this turn. During your casting phase this turn, deal an additional 1 damage. Ooh. Fun combo potential there. Stupefy. 3-cost spell, deal 2 damage. Recall, you may discard a card to silence a minion. That's fun. I really like the art here with this fiery kind of owl thing. That's cool. Force Bubble, 4-cost spell. Cast, deal 2 damage, or cast, return this to your hand. You may prep a spell from your hand that is not named Force Bubble. Huh. That's cool. So that'll let you trade this out for more powerful spells, basically. Seems fun. Five-cost spell, Accelerating Field. Cast, deal 3 damage. If this is your first time you have cast an Accelerating Field this turn, you may reveal the top 4 cards of your deck. You may place any cards named Accelerating Field revealed this way into your hand. Ooh, interesting. Harmonize. You may discard this card from your hand when any ally casts a spell to have that spell deal an additional 2 damage. Cast, deal 4 damage. Interesting. Phantasmagoria. Cast, deal 3 damage. Easy enough. Recall lets you conjure, which again lets you prep any cards face down as 2 damage spells. That's cool. We've got Rune Tutor up next. 5-cost spell. Gain a card that costs $6 or less from any supply pile and place it on top of your deck, or deal 4 damage. Ooh, cool. Cheating cards is always fun. Bestowing Light, 6-cost spell. Cast, deal 5 damage. Any ally gains an ether token for each spell prepped in an adjacent breach. Okay. 7-cost spell, final one in the deck. Cast, deal 6 damage. Reverse Gravity is what it's called. Cast, deal 6 damage. This is placed into your discard pile. You may place this on the bottom of your discard pile. Interesting. So that'll cycle through significantly faster than other stuff. Cool. That's a fun bunch of stuff. And welcome in, you guys. We're just getting done going through the non-legacy stuff included here, the promo cards and the small box Ruins expansion. You know, didn't want to crack into the promos or the legacy stuff quite yet. So let me sort these things out. We'll have to sleeve these up and get them into our main boxes here in a little bit, or we might just play some games with just this stuff, you know. Chronophage Coil. It's an 8-cost spell, and then treasures. So that is our lot as far as non-legacy stuff. So, I mean, it's a fun-looking bunch of cards. I'm always a fan of more cards, right? And again, we've got the reset pack here, but I don't think we really want to get into it because it's got all the mages and cards and stuff that you're going to end up stickering up, and you know, that seems pretty spoilery. The ether tokens seem like a cool addition, especially being able to give them to other people and stuff, you know. Organize all my randomizers here, even though I don't think I've literally ever used them. I've got like an entire box full of randomizers and extra tokens and stuff. Cool. So, what do you guys think? You think we should play the first chapter of Legacy of Gravehold? I kind of think we should, personally. But for the time being, that is the unboxing of Legacy of Gravehold. I'm going to grab myself a cup of water, and then I think we'll crack into the first scenario here. What do you say? So give me just a second, and I'll be right back, y'all.